Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Keytime Sports. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports right here on Instagram, and the Key on Millions.co. Here is my media feed. Here is my merchandise. We just rolled out new merchandise at the middle of this month. Here is our new logo. Give y'all about 10 seconds to see this brand new logo. This is our rebrand. And here is my profile so that you will know that it is me. And let's get into the games that happened last night in the NBA. So, the first game was the Philadelphia 76ers and the Miami Heat. Both of these teams are in the same boat as far as record wise. And we can see from their standings, they are pretty much not even on the outside looking in, but they are in the play-in tournament. And one reason why the Philadelphia 76ers are in the play-in tournament is because everybody that's under them they have quite a few bad nights during the week. If you play if you play 4 games in 7 days for the NBA, most of these games, when you have teams like the Magic, the Heat, and the Hornets, they will lose at least 2 or 3 of those 4 games in a week. And it's not really like, let's say, credit the competition that they are playing, that they are going out there and, those upper echelon teams are handling business. But for the 76ers, it's like we expected them to be one of the top 6 teams in the East. And for the Miami Heat, we all know that the Miami Heat, they're going to be in the thick of things when it comes to play-in tournament time. And that is exactly where they are. Here is the starters for the 76ers. Paul George, he just came back. 19 points in 35 minutes. Dominic Barlow, 4 points in 20 minutes. Joel Embiid, he is back finally. 26 points in 34 minutes. Tyrese Maxey, 23 points in 44 minutes. VJ Edgecombe, 13 points in 30 minutes. Bench production. Justin Edwards, big old goose egg for him in 1 minute. Amar Bona, 2 points in 14 minutes. Kelly Oubre Jr., 11 points in 31 minutes. Quentin Grimes, 11 points in 32 minutes. And everybody else that did not play, they did not play because of coach's decision. For the Miami Heat, Andrew Wiggins, 14 points in 36 minutes. Bam Adebayo, 23 points in 42 minutes. Davion Mitchell, 9 points in 30 minutes. Tyler Hero, 30 points in 42 minutes. Pelly Larson, 20 points in 36 minutes. Simone Fecchio, 3 points in 6 minutes. Jamie Jaquez Jr., 14 points in 32 minutes. Khalil Ware, 5 points in 13 minutes. Drew Smith, 1 point in 3 minutes. Now, for the Miami Heat, we all know that they are a team that is not strong. And what I mean by not strong is they aren't strong enough to win a first round series to even get to a second round. I can see the Heat losing in the play-in tournament and not even make it to the playoffs, which will end up bad for the Heat because we have always seen the Heat in the playoffs, even in their down years. They've always, the last few games of the season, they've always had a playoff scenario that goes in their favor, and they have a playoff scenario right now that goes in their favor. So, efficient-wise, Miami, they shot the ball better last night from the floor, 46%. Philadelphia 76ers made one more three last night. Free throws, 22 of 29 for the Miami Heat. Free throw percentage, 76 for the Heat and 89 for the 76ers. Steals, +3 for the Miami Heat. Blocks, +1 for the 76ers. Turnovers, had the same amount of turnovers, 11 for the Miami Heat and 10 for the 76ers. Points in the paint, this is where the disparity starts. The point disparity starts. 60-42 for the Miami Heat. When it comes to largest lead of the game, 15 points for the Miami Heat, 7 points for the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, since Tyrese Maxey is back, since Paul George is back, since Joel Embiid is back from injury, how far can the 76ers go? That's what we all want to know. How far can the 76ers go? And as you all can see, this was not even a close game when we get to the last few minutes. That's when it started to be a close game. Philadelphia was up by 3, now up by 1 with a foul right there. Miami, they came back and they pretty much won this game. But I believe the 76ers, they should have won this game because you cannot give up dunks or wide open shots like that to Miami. And this is a team, Miami, they are already in the play-in tournament. So when Miami got the lead right there, it was pretty much over. As you can see, Jamie Jaquez all the way down to the basket. He made it, and then all of a sudden, 76ers, they are going uphill. And they didn't get a good shot the last 2 minutes of the game. They didn't get a good shot, but you had Miami making every shot possible going down the floor. And as you can see right here, this is pretty much what sealed the game. Up by 10 with under 45 seconds left. And see, what happened with the Philadelphia 76ers has happened to them multiple times this season. Now I'm going to go ahead and, stop this and go back to their current record. 76ers, when it comes to, they have 34 losses, right? As you all can see right there. But when it comes, most of those losses have come because of late game miscues. Meaning, last night, they had a lead. They had a 5-point lead with under 4 minutes left. Now, one thing that I can say is when you are a basketball team and you got a 5-point lead with under 4 minutes left, if I was a coach, I would say, guys, let's get fouled. Let's think about some high percentage shots. Do not attempt a 3 unless you are wide open and you are confident that you are going to make it. Because when you have wasted possessions like that against a team that is already on the ropes, you get comebacks, what you had just saw in that highlight clip. So 76ers right now, if the playoffs were to start next week, they would be facing, first the 76ers would be facing the Hornets for their play-in tournament matchup, and winner of the 76ers Hornets matchup would be facing the Detroit Pistons or the Boston Celtics. And as for the Miami Heat and the Orlando Magic, they would be in the same exact scenario. Whoever win out of Miami and Orlando would be facing Detroit or Boston. So one thing about the Heat, I don't see them getting very far. I don't see the 76ers getting very far. So the next game I'm going to cover is the team that I was just talking about a few seconds ago, the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. Now, the Atlanta Hawks, Y'all see this? Atlanta, they were just at the bottom. They were just number 9 in the East 3.5 weeks ago. Everybody was saying, is Atlanta going to be able to make the playoffs or the play-in tournament? And as we can see, if the playoffs were to start next week, Atlanta, they would be facing the New York Knicks. Now, we already know that 5 years ago, Atlanta faced the New York Knicks, and we already know how that matchup ended up. We already know that. And now we see where I'm gonna go back to last night's game, because we see where the Atlanta Hawks, they are a young up and coming team. They made a few trades at the trade deadline, and they have pretty much worked wonders ever since the trade deadline. The Atlanta Hawks have had a winning record. They have. And as you can see with the Boston Celtics, Luke Garza, 20 points in 28 minutes. Derek White, 7 points in 36 minutes. Jaylen Brown, 29 points in 40 minutes. Baylor Sherman, 3 points in 26 minutes. Jordan Walsh, 8 points in 31 minutes. One thing about it, Jason Tatum didn't play because pretty much, load management, trying to get him ready for the playoffs. Bench production for the Celtics. Sam Hauser, 7 points in 21 minutes. Amari Williams, 4 points in 13 minutes. Charles Bassey, 3 points in 6 minutes. Peyton Pritchard, the 6th man of the year in my book, and he should be the 6th man of the year with just, he should win 6th man of the year by a landslide, because what he has been doing in the time of Jason Tatum's absence, and pretty much we all know when it comes to the Celtics, they go on those shooting droughts, and when they need a shot, Peyton Pritchard, it seems like he is always there making timely shots in critical moments. Peyton Pritchard had 16 points last night in 26 minutes. John Tonji, 0 points in 0 minutes. Max Schuster, double goose egg, 0 points in 0 minutes. Hugo Gonzalez, 5 points in 13 minutes. For the Atlanta Hawks, Onaki Okongwu, 20 points in 36 minutes. Jalen Johnson, 20 points in 36 minutes. C.J. McCollum, 14 points in 30 minutes. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 17 points in 35 minutes. Dyson Daniels, 18 points in 38 minutes. Bench production, Jonathan Kuminga, 10 points in 23 minutes. Muhammad Guai, 2 points in 12 minutes. Zachary Rochester, 9 points in 16 minutes. Gabe Vincent, 2 points in 14 minutes. And everybody else on the list did not play because of coach's decision. Now, the Atlanta Hawks, how they started the season, they started the season on a bad note. They did. They started the season on a bad note, and I would say December 28th, when the standings were at December 28th, they were the number 9. They were in the 9th spot. But now over the last 2.5 months, and especially like I just said a few seconds before, after the trade deadline, the Atlanta Hawks, they have went on a pretty much a winning streak or run to get them to where they are now. Now, do I see the Atlanta Hawks beating the New York Knicks? That could possibly happen. That would be an upset, and I'm not going to put it past the Atlanta Hawks to do that, because we already know that New York Knicks bench production is bad. We already know that. I've been saying that for weeks and months, that the Knicks bench production is bad. The Atlanta Hawks bench production, as you all could see last night, really didn't play up to par. But the Hawks, they really didn't need that, because when it comes to their shooting efficiency, they made more three-pointers than the Boston Celtics. They were more efficient at the free throw line. Turnovers, they had less turnovers than the Celtics. Fast break points, it really wasn't a fast-paced game, but the Atlanta Hawks edged the Celtics out by 1 point, 17-16 points in the paint, plus 18 for the Hawks, and largest lead of the game was 21, and largest lead for the Celtics was 6. Now, do I think that this is going to be a problem for the Boston Celtics? No. This is a small bump in the road. This is the last few games of the season. They got like maybe 8-9 games left in the season. And we all know that when it comes to the end point of the season, we all know that most of these teams, like the Celtics, are just ready for the playoffs. They are. And as you all can see, this was pretty much game over ever since the start of the fourth quarter, because, like I said, up by 21, they ended up winning by 10. You all see it. It is a 112 to 102 win for the Atlanta Hawks. And now we see where a couple teams in the East and a couple of teams in the West have clinched playoff spots. As you all can see with this X right here by the Celtics, Pistons, and the New York Knicks, that means that they clinched the playoff berth. And you see a Y right here between the Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. That means that they clinched their divisions respectfully. Also, another thing, I got one more game to talk about, and this game was the game of all games last night. The best team in the West and the best team in the East. Let's see how it all went down. And as I was looking at this game, could this be an NBA Finals preview? Now, Detroit Pistons, they are going to have to go through a lot of hurdles without Cade Cunningham there to make it to the NBA Finals for the first time in 21 years, if they make it to the finals. Now, Paul Reed for the Detroit Pistons, 21 points in 34 minutes. Javonte Green, 19 points in 30 minutes. Kevin Huerter, 17 points in 38 minutes. Azur Thompson, 8 points in 26 minutes. Dennis Jenkins, 15 points in 36 minutes. Bench production for the Pistons, Tulu Smith, 4 points in 19 minutes. Ronald Holland II, 4 points in 24 minutes. Caris LeVert, 10 points in 26 minutes. Marcus Sauser, 12 points in 18 minutes. Chaz Lanier, big old goose egg for him, 0 points in 13 minutes. Wendell Moore, Bobby Klintman, Isaiah Jones did not play because of coach's decision. And for the Oklahoma City Thunder, Chet Holmgren, 13 points in 30 minutes. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, or as we all call him, SGA or Shea Butter, 47 points in 41 minutes. Lou Dort, 2 points in 22 minutes. Cason Wallace, 9 points in 27 minutes. A.J. Mitchell, 14 points in 36 minutes. Jalen Williams. Bench production for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Jalen Williams, 3 points in 32 minutes. Alex Caruso, 3 points in 27 minutes. Kenrich Williams, 0 points in 6 minutes. Big old goose egg for him. Isaiah Joe, 6 points in 14 minutes. Aaron Wiggins, 10 points in 17 minutes. Jared McCain, 7 points in 14 minutes. Brooks Barnesdale, Peyton Shamford, Braden Carlson, Nikola Topic did not play because of coach's decision. As we all can see that this was going to be a very close-knit game. It ended up going into overtime. And as you all can see, when it comes to efficiency, Pistons made more three-pointers than the Thunder, but still lost. We get the total turnovers. They had the same amount of turnovers. Fast break points. +6 for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Points in the paint, +4 for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Largest lead of the game for the Thunder was 15 points, and largest lead for the Pistons was 7 points. So both of these teams, they really didn't have a big edge in this game. They didn't. And even you can even see with rebounds, +4 for the Pistons. Now, this could very well be an NBA Finals preview, America. It really can be, because the team that has the best odds to make it to the NBA Finals, Detroit Pistons, even though that they have the best record, they have the second best odds to make it to the NBA Finals. For the Thunder, OKC Thunder have the best odds out of the West to make it to the NBA Finals. And as we all can see, y'all look at this matchup from last night. It was pretty much a good matchup. That's what we saw in the first quarter. Let's get to the third quarter, and let's get to where the game was tied. Let's get right to the fourth quarter. 99-99 with just over a minute left. Now, this is what we're talking about. These are the type of games that we want to see. The game ended up being tied with under 15 seconds left. SGA brings the ball down the floor. He has done this so many times. SGA for 3. He got it. They were up by 3, but they waved it off. They waved it off because they said offensive foul, which I was shocked by that. But in overtime, we already know what the OKC Thunder can do. They pretty much did what they had to do, handle business, pretty much made the Detroit Pistons shoot shot attempts that they were comfortable with. And all of a sudden, instead of being down by a 3-point deficit, the Detroit Pistons were down by 6 at one point in overtime, and they couldn't make shots efficiently when it comes to the Detroit Pistons. Now, even though that they are up by 1, Alex Caruso for 3, he made the 3. That's a timely 3. See, Alex Caruso, he reminds me of Peyton Pritchard on the Boston Celtics, a guy that is going to play defense, and if you come to him and if you need a timely shot, he will make it for you. And when we get down to the last few seconds of this game, 6 seconds left, 6 seconds left, and OKC was up by 2. They were up by 4. They ended up winning by 4. And that was pretty much the game right there, 114 to 110. Everybody, and I do mean everybody, they are coming out of last night's game. They are saying that NBA Finals preview. And now I'm going to tell y'all something. NBA Finals matchups, let's look at some realistic NBA Finals matchups. You got OKC and Boston. That could be a Finals matchup. Then you have OKC, Detroit. That could be a Finals matchup. San Antonio and Detroit. That could be an NBA Finals matchup. San Antonio Spurs, Boston Celtics. That could be an NBA Finals matchup. Los Angeles Lakers and the New York Knicks. That is my dream scenario when it comes to the NBA Finals. You got the biggest market in the West, in LA, and then you got the biggest market on the East Coast, which is New York. And we already know that the tickets for those NBA Finals will be selling off the shelves. And every game in the NBA Finals with the Lakers and the Knicks, it'll be sold out. Sold out. We already know that the superstars from the Lakers and the superstars from the Knicks, when it comes to movie stars, they'll be selling out every game. They'll be sitting right there. You get Tracy Morgan, Stephen A. Smith, Fat Joe, Timothy Chalamet, and it's a whole lot more of them. Chris Rock. Everybody will be sitting at the front row. And let me not forget Spike Lee. And we already know for Los Angeles Lakers, they have vintage movie stars that come watch them every game of the basketball season. So now, with that, those are my reactions to the 3-game slate last night in the NBA. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Keytime Sports right here on YouTube, Key City Sports on Instagram, and the key on millions.co. Here is my profile so that you will know it's me. Here is my merchandise. We just rolled out new merchandise in the middle of March, and we also have a new logo. This is our new logo, our rebranded logo, and here is my media feed so that you can look at all of my different segments. You all of a sudden y'all see my viral hot takes when it comes to my biggest prediction for the rest of 2026. I do believe that the LA Dodgers will win the World Series, and I will be able to see another three-peat. I've already saw one three-peat in my lifetime. That was the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm ready to see another three-peat because historically, you don't see three-peats no more. You don't see three-peats no more. In the last 40 years, there's only been 3 teams. Three teams that have three-peated in the 4 major sports. And that is the Chicago Bulls twice in one decade, the Lakers, and Chicago Bulls twice, Los Angeles Lakers, and potentially the LA Dodgers. Now, back in the 40s and 50s, you saw that on the regular. Teams winning 3 straight years, winning 4 straight years. There was one team in baseball, the New York Yankees, from 1945 to 1950, they went for a 5-peat. Now that is historically great and astronomical, but we ain't gonna never see no team like that no more. But all in all, pretty much very, very entertaining games last night in the NBA. Like I said, subscribe to all my platforms. I'm selling clothes. I'm selling shirts on millions.co. You already know that this is my profile right here, Keiwond Dowell. And remember, everybody, one last thing. The key is always on time.